We have lost contact with North America's 4th Air Force and their 8th Infantry Regiment. Are there any survivors? They're engaged the 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions.
How long must we wait in the shadows?
Emergency contact.
It took a while. Finally, we've received the attack order. We must reduce damage as much as possible.
Before you need information, please confirm before beginning munition. Do you hear me, Raiden? We're still surveying the enemies, so please head straight to the scene.
There doesn't appear to be many enemies coming to the suburbs, but you can't be negligent. Remember, shoot them before they shoot you. Max speed. You're aware of it, but it's the first time to witness contamination of this level with these kinds of massive weapons. To be honest, I don't know what will happen, so be careful.
I'm sending you the information on the enemy. No contaminations from surface weapons have been confirmed in the area. This will be aerial attack, so please act as such. The 18th Mechanized Infantry are engaged in blocking the advancement of the enemy ships into metropolitan areas. It is unclear how long we can maintain the fight, as something is ready to be done. The speed of enemy destructions. Neither the plane nor the pilot has been damaged by the combat. We will be entering the metropolitan area very soon. The enemy in that area are being mocked up by the 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions. Please quickly pass through it and aim for the other camp.
Hold on. This is too much for the defense corps to handle on their own. Descend and pursue the destruction of the target.
Captain, is that really necessary? The citizens have all been evacuated, and most of the enemy weapons have been destroyed.
That may be so, but I'm sure the retreating people can do it coffee. It won't hurt to help out.
I'm getting a response by radar. Numerous enemies have crossed the defense lines and invaded metropolitan areas.
You heard it. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to respond appropriately on site.
The number of enemies destroyed have been confirmed. It seems that some enemies on the ground have survived. I'm requesting help from the 2nd and 4th Armored Divisions. Enemy aircraft is flying between the skyscrapers. Please be careful.
Be careful. Do you have any better advice for me?
I believe it's the captain's role to give advice. Don't you have any advice for me?
Make sure you don't hit a building.
Enemy battleships are approaching. There are vessels moving in ships.
something so huge being attacked. But I gotta say that the mission was well accomplished.
Excellent job. I will check the measuring instruments, so please stand by at cruising speed.
Let's go off topic. You know, I think South American coffee is the best. How about you?
I have no interest in black fluids. Please don't waste your valuable communication network with your nonsense. Emergency contact. An SOS call from Middle East. Please move to latitude 18 degrees north and longitude 32 degrees east.
Hey, I was being serious.
There is no SOS call coming from the town around the oasis campus. It appears to be
This area had a lot of history to it.
Shame. Have you been here before?
Stay alert. There seems to be quite a number.
There are contamination weapons all over the place. There's also obstacles. Your destruction rate is pretty low. Captain, you weren't very efficient out there. I'm sure there's no problem with the paint.
I'm going to flee into the valley to escape the enemy as we planned. Watch out for the protruding rocks.
Enemy response on radar.
Maybe the crystals have intelligence beyond our presumption.
That may be so.
You're supposed to be in charge of the radar, right? Can't you at least tell me where it's coming from?
Massive enemy weapon reaction. No response to the 1-kilometer radius. Many smoke mid-sized responses and attacks from up ahead. Hopefully intercept after checking the armor reaction.
Be more precise, you know?
Successful entry into the ruins. The Raiden seems to have been shelled, so brace yourself. I analyzed the video images from Raiden. Are they enchanted? It's romantic.
That's not an analysis. Your impression isn't.
Sorry. I'm getting many crystal responses. It's strange. There doesn't appear to be any particular contamination.
You're telling me that these crystals are non-contaminated? Looks like that could exist. Man, this video is displeasing. These are what caused the contamination of the crystals.
It's a modest impression, but it's really you know? I acknowledge it. getting a reaction from the whole sky. Prepare for contact.
It's a narrow cave, so watch out.
The enemy is transforming and the energy level is increasing. Please be extra careful. Enemy deactivated. Nice work. You can evacuate from where you are now. Please make a vertical.
A cave of sleeping crystals, huh? We'll need to report this to be researched. Hold on, I'm going to switch lines. I'm sorry for working you so hard. We must head toward the wind's port. Raiden, you need to control the periphery and head for the port.
We're going to the beach? How do I submit a request for a vacation leave from there?
Sorry, Ashiri. You've got work to do.
If it's not a vacation, then why are we heading towards the port? It's not part of our mission, is it?
It's a request from the Weapons Development Division. How dare they use the PCB as messengers? I guess we've got to follow orders. You sure are a model military man.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Campbell of the Weapons Development Division. I'm glad that the captain is so understanding of our needs.
Yeah, well, I guess I owe it to the Weapons Development Division. You know, I'd be much more passionate about my work if you were provided the finest coffee beans.
Very well. We will attend to that. We would appreciate it if you follow up on the contaminated weapons attack that happened at Wings Port. Cheerio.
Multiple enemies at Winston. Raiden, I need you to hurry and annihilate them.
I'm sure glad I mentioned the coffee beans to them. I can't wait for them to arrive.
You have no pride, sir. It appears that there's still enemies. Please continue mopping them up. Your vital meter is decreasing. Please be focused to breathe. An emergency call from the Shell Defense Force. They're being attacked by multiple contaminated weapons.
What? Another attack? Get that, Raiden. Head northwest to the shell defense base.
Seems like you missed quite a lot of enemies. I know you're tired from all the fighting, but please hurry ahead to the shell pit. Do you think there's something behind all these consecutive attacks?
I don't know. I'm just a military. Whatever the reasons, it's our mission to fight when the enemy's attacked.
That's for sure. I guess we should leave the difficult matters up to the weapons development division people.
Yeah, these matters are definitely too difficult for someone who thinks about vacation when they arrive at the port.
You say? Well, I think these matters are too difficult for men who prioritize coffee beans over work.
Oh well. Let's just focus on the task in front of us.
Enemy approaching. Its arms are opening up. Will we be The enemy is transforming into a walking tank.
Let's head to the LHC facility. I'm sure these crystals we were supposed to transport us. What's going on? We can deal with the consequences.
reinforced LHC facility. We will move towards the destination at a low altitude until coming close to the facility, since this is unsafe. Please caution the civilian facilities.
Hey, you sound like a real professional. I'm going to rely on you from now on when I'm taking the train.
Wow! This is the Sidonia Falls?
It's alright to be happy, but stop telling me your impression over the network.
An incoming transmission from the council. It appears to be Madame of Winter.
That was quick of her.
Put her through.
You seem to be enjoying the Sidonia Falls. I've seen them before, and they are certainly impressive.
Well, right. It sure is spectacular.
Excuse me, Captain. It seems that our conversation was overheard by the entire BCD region.
No problem. Even if we're at Hordes, only naturals can move by a free site. Unfortunately, the location of Fairweather has been revealed to everyone.
That's a problem. We were planning to keep our movements.
I guess you have your own ideas, Max, and I won't pry into them. But Bellwether gets a lot of attention, so it would be helpful if you try not to stand out.
I'm really sorry. I will make sure my subordinates don't do this again.
Good luck. Max has a duty to do, so listen to his lecture until the operator.
The enemy destruction speed is slow. Please be cautious in combat.
The LHC should be in view at any moment now.
Yes, it's a recent facility lab, so I also look forward to seeing it. An incoming SOS call from LHC, Captain.
What's the reason for the signal?
I don't know, sir. There's a large crystal contamination response in the radar. It's all over the LHC facility.
This demands speed. Right. Get into the LHC facility and eliminate the contaminated weapons that have invaded.
Why didn't an SOS call come in until now? There wouldn't have been this much if they had contacted us after the attacks.
I don't know why, but unless there was some technical trouble, the enemy must have invaded very swiftly. We don't have time to worry about that now. Let's knock out the aerial enemies. Be able to research and physically destroy them if the facility is destroyed. Protect it at any cost.
Great job in eliminating the enemy from the periphery of the central facility. the enemies inbound.
So, Bellwether can't handle all these enemies.
You've let too many enemies escape. I know it's a tough mission. Please hang in there. Now help us up in the sky.
Good, Raiden. You're amazing in your mastery.
There's an enemy response remaining in the fringes outside the LAC facility. I will send over the directions, so please be careful. Captain, high energy response is rapidly approaching central facility.
Raiden, Bellwether will take care of this enemy force. Hurry to the central facility.
The enemy has risen over the central facility. Raiden has also arrived. I didn't think we would make it. We will engage in battle now. Side parts have separated and fallen. The enemy has invaded into the LAC facility.
Right. Pursue it and destroy it by any necessary means.
Enemy deactivated. This battle had been the last one. Well done with the mission.
Syria. There's a plane in the distance. What is that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the radar. It's a signal-belated Bellwether surveillance plane. Currently, the surveillance plane is heading towards the sea. What shall we do?
Of course we will have to pursue and catch them. Don't let them escape, Raiden.
Our transmission is coming in from an unknown source.
I thought you'd be warned if it were an unknown source.
Yeah, good job, It's not the mission for the BCD to deal with me, is it? Hurry back and clean up the crystals already.
I see. I wonder what you'd do if you go out to sea. With the sea.
You can just find as many crystals as you like. I've been busy with pirate operations too. There's no time to do it.
That's so. Don't worry about us. We'll go ahead and collect the crystals. Call the public relations department if you have any.
Promise this would be an easy job. I'll require an additional fee if I'm to deal with the BCD. It won't be worth it.
I thought that Barbarossa was a more chivalrous pirate, but he's no different from a common thief. I'm disappointed because he was kind of a fan.
I'm not very impressed that an army officer is a fan of pirates.
We will pursue the pirate ship. It's very big, Hiding here.
Well, it might be good to ask VH afterwards.
illuminating me. Please keep it up. An incoming transmission from Weapons Development Division. Captain? Good luck, sir.
Captain, what's going on? We are assiduously engaged in our mission, sir. Can we talk over coffee tomorrow?
It appears that the prisoners have been taken by the pirates. This is a failure, but what's done can't be changed. Bellwether can return to its normal place since I've sent out a separate squadron to deal with them and retrieve crystals.
I appreciate the consideration. We are already engaged in combat.
You're moving the ship arbitrarily again? It's not too late. Retreat now and leave the pirates alone.
Hey, how long do I gotta wait?
I seem to have heard something.
Captain, are you busy?
No! Alright, withdraw immediately. I'm busy, so I will go.
That's strange.
It sounded like a voice that I heard. Raiden will be in danger too if we go with pirates.
Can't have them down us. I'm gonna give it all that I've got.
Gosh, this much firepower being a pirate may actually be possible. Handle this, please, Raiden. Thanks.
Ship's been contaminated. Hey, do something, VCD.
Gosh, say it as if it were easy.
Enemy formations changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up.
The energy response is stopped. Just
You're lucky the contamination is at sea where there's generally no damage.
Hey, hurry hurry up and save me? I'll tell you a bunch of stuff because I'm mad as hell.
That would be helpful. The rescue crew will be heading there now. Everyone listen. Raiden and Bellwether will now be launching an assault on the former weapons development research facility. This is a facility that is supposed to be scrapped. Be careful.
It's a rare Captain Michael message. Is the information Barbarossa gave us correct? She said that the Weapons Development Division is doing research to train.
I don't exactly trust her. Probably credible. She told us that an official was part. I've also come upon the same information from someone in the council.
Is that right? It's tough finding someone when you're on the same side.
Your response to the enemies is wonderful. This performance is remarkable given that the enemy has state-of-the-art weaponry. A transmission from the Weapons Development Division. But the source is from inside.
Are you trying to visit the council again, Bellwether?
We would be grateful if you could give up all resistance and surrender to us.
Surrender? What are you talking about? We are doing this for the future of mankind. I would appreciate it if you don't the likes of a captain running around as a tool for the power struggles of the council and defense forces.
Future of mankind. But for the future that you design. It seems that the research into energizing band crystals is a selfish personal passion for you, Lieutenant.
I'm not being selfish! It's necessary to have superior weapons to achieve a victory in the battle with the crystals. The weapons you're fighting here and Bellwether were developed by me! I'm living for the future of mankind! Why don't you praise me?
He wants to be great. Isn't that a bit selfish?
Well, yeah. Even the way he was behaving, not worth speaking.
Raiden has reached the core and will carry out the destruction of the research facility.
Time to wait. Destroy everything, Raiden.
Are you letting the enemies adapt to the facility. I will send you the predicted route.
He won't let you leave easily. It's obvious. Be careful.
It appears that there are fewer enemies than expected. There's something...
There's a possibility that something escaped. It seems unkillable. Hopefully, we can reach the exit.
It'll probably be alright. It's just a bit more. Please wait. High energy response from behind us. They're catching up.
I knew they wouldn't let us escape easily.
It appears that he has a gigantic arm. Please exercise caution. Bird play? This is tough. The number has increased.
Here's that the number has increased. We need to calm down.
The enemy has gone silent. There's no other enemy response inside the city.
It's vital. Lieutenant is certainly brilliant to have those kinds of weapons in secret.
It's finally over. Now you'll pardon me.
I thought this would have been quiet. You were waiting for this to end. I'll let you know the details later.
I knew that'd go this. Much bigger than what I heard. Oh, you're still on board. Lovely.
We have to aim for the Space Center because of the order from the Council. That is our mission.
They haven't given us a specific time.
Well, I'm still the captain. I've heard all the specific goals, including the ultimate time.
Oh, is that right? I'm concerned, so...
Alright. Don't be surprised that our destination is outer space.
I'm not particularly surprised. We're going to the space station, too. But I'm surprised at a dream time in my life in which we could go to outer space.
I was always set on the seas. Outer space doesn't sound bad.
It's not a trick. We didn't have the time to drop her off, but I'm still surprised that I'm taking VH to space.
Come on, don't be silly. I used to be a captain, too. What happened to the bond? You shouldn't be so silly.
Barbarossa, you are in her custody as a prisoner, so don't get too close to the captain. Captain, please be more strict in your language.
Gosh, men are scary.
Remember, the crystals will share any information among each other, so you can't let them escape. You've got to do better.
It appears that you're safe, Captain. I wonder if you lent a female about their next mission? The contents are unexpected, so I hope they aren't confused.
I was worried too. They seem to be determined, so there's no confusion.
We are all soldiers now, so don't vacillate about anything.
Excellent. Let me express my gratitude on behalf of the Council. The mission is to go to the home planet of the crystals, but it's rigorous, so it worries me.
Leave it to us. Another planet of crystals.
Anyway, it's outer space nonetheless. Shouldn't be a problem, right? I'm proud to have good soldiers as the captain of Belgium.
You're a great captain. Even I would hesitate going to the end of the universe.
The end of the universe. I wonder when I'll have my vacation. They're approaching with the acceleration level momentarily. Please hurry back to Beltway. There's no time. Hurry, Raiden. Break away. 3, 2, 1. I know it's a breakaway mission, but I would have liked it if you had destroyed the world.
It appears that we have been pulled far away from the destination point when the enemy attacked just before the launch.
You intentionally moved away because you didn't want to go to the crystal's home planet.
I wouldn't do that. We would reach the skies above Hawaii if I were to move away again.
It's great that we could safely get out into space, but there's not much time. Go ahead of us, Ryan, and hurry to the destination point with the warp device.
We need to reach it by the time of the critical launching of the device. I think that we'll make it if we stay on course and go through the space station buildings, so please stand firm.
Anyway, it's incredible that the contamination has spread this far. We've been driven into a corner more than I thought we could.
Shudder at the danger of the extinction of mankind before we realize it.
Be out of the colony area soon. Hopefully, there won't be any more problems.
Giant contaminated weapon response from the port side. Exercise caution.
This is huge. Shouldn't we run for it?
Stand firm to the end, Mike. Got it?
The enemy has been destroyed. You're amazing, Raiden.
Hey, that was my line! The periphery contamination response is completely disappeared. We shall head towards the destination point now.
This warp machine was also created by the theories of the Campbell guy, right?
We've arrived at the enemy's planet's vicinity. So this is it. For real.
Pretty much. We must do everything we can to complete our mission and release Earth from the contamination.
Well, no need to sound so dramatic. Let's just give them a fright and knock them for a loop.
Initiating descent plan from planet Sky. Multiple contamination responses detected from the surface.
We'll attack with everything we have.
Sight. Our scientific achievements are no match for theirs. On top of that, the crystals seem more advanced here, even making and living in buildings.
Of course that isn't the case. This is obviously a civilization that was eroded by the crystals like that. Or like a secret.
We're not here for sightseeing, so let's keep our sentiments to around there. Let's hurry and find the location of where the enemy's highest energy source is leaking. Have all Raiden fighter pilots prioritize seeking the energy source over engaging in combat.
Captain, an ultra-high energy source has been discovered.
Under the surface, there must be an entrance somewhere. But we will be able to find it that soon.
There should be a location where the enemy remain unmoving and don't respond to us. Underneath there is most likely the entrance. Whether human or crystal, it's a fate.
A place where they remain. I found it. That passage diagonally in front of us. The contaminated weapons will remain rooted in the text and aren't responding to the bellwether or Raiden.
Raiden, can you hear me? Forwarding you the position of the gate. All Raiden fighters enter the passage and force your way underground.
Raiden has made a successful incursion.
What about the other Raiden fighters?
Captain, we've lost communication with the first floor. The pulse fighters as well. It appears to have been shot down.
Oh dear. How unfortunate.
All right. Fend off enemy forces until Raiden is clear. Concentrate fire on the enemy's support.
Captain, how can you remain so calm? Regardless of the fact we're in battle, how can you so cold-hearted?
Sorry, tell me about it.
I see.
With Earth's fate hanging in the balance, the enemy destruction rate is dangerously low. Please rouse yourself to action. Captain, we've lost communication with Cross. In all likelihood, they have reached.
Enemy reinforcements are in pursuit. We need to immediately prepare again to intercept.
Captain, is that all you have to say? I've never hoped for that kind of man.
Listen, Zark is to me, but all our lives are in the captain's hands. This is a
But still, we've got to do everything we can.
make the best out of our situation. You have time to cry. Do something about it.
Captain, call the medic! Captain! Please!
I need to command this mission. I cannot leave my post.
Save! Even if they were to be treated, there's no way you could give out back to those boots!
There's no one else in this vessel I can relinquish command to.
Fine. I was getting bored of just being along for the ride anyway. I have experience being captain, so I'll train you. After all, if the Earth were to be alive, I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted.
Wait! If you're out of the records, commands of Barbarossa? When this was been writing, civilization, they appear to be far more scientifically advanced than we are.
There's no point in being scientifically advanced if you end up getting Maybe I'll look around.
What do you say?
Please do your job seriously. I'm not a big fan of fun. It's important not to forget to have fun, especially in them. Whoops! Now's no time to be sightseeing. Do you want me to be attacking or defending right now, Captain?
understand your focus, but your response speed is lagging behind. Try a little harder. Phew. But, when you think about it, you're fighting against folks who have pretty much swallowed this planet whole.
How can you remain so calm? You do know we're in an overwhelmingly disadvantageous situation.
Pirates are always in overwhelmingly disadvantageous situations. But I've survived this and will continue to. All the enemy forces near the gate are getting fighting. Gotta hand it to those ships. Its fighting power is far outright from my prediction.
Captain! Our large contamination signal is approaching from the left.
Well, that can't be good.
We don't have time. Please give your command. Will we attack or defend?
Bellwether and all Raiden fighters. Move at a 4 o'clock direction at full speed.
Wait, don't we need to protect the gate? If they destroy it, Raiden won't be able to...
No way we can defend here and intercept at the same time. Pirate Captain Walter's attacking is by no means classic, but at least it'll be flamboyant. Self-contemplation is useful at times. They'll have to fend for themselves.
We have lost communication. Riders are absolutely no use to our lives.
Land the Bellwether on the surface. Let's intercept by focusing all our resources on our radar and weapons.
What planet? If they don't move, we'll be a sitting target.
We're surrounded, so we're a sitting target anyway. We'll be able to concentrate on attacks from above.
I see.
We'll just have to wait. We're distracting him. Raiden is destroying the enemy at its source. I don't know if you can hear me. Get back here!
It's time that I settle my score for having my ship contaminated.
How much longer will it take?
Operations are being hurried.
That's still quite a bit of time.
It's a transmission using
Of course, you're right.
Yeah, I'm of the...
the two of you worry. Critical launch of the Alchemy.
I hope these are just imagined. Where are we?
I agree.
Well, there's no point in worrying over the...
Wow.
Of course it's bigger if you...
What's the matter?
I've confirmed a location.
Yes.
Hey, Captain.
Moon.
Then
What?
Captain,
No. Then the planet we're seeing now isn't Mars, but Earth. These red